Welcome to Cruise News, where we break down the biggest stories hitting the waves. And this week, whoa, we've got some major changes shaking things up, from deep in the engine room all the way to the top deck. We're tracking three huge shifts: a massive race for green fuels, a brand new, game-changing megaship, and a really controversial decision that could change the whole vibe on some of your favorite cruises. First up, we're going to dive into the super high-stakes race to find sustainable fuels. This is a massive challenge for the industry, and there are billions with a B of dollars on the line. Then, we'll get an amazing first look inside a groundbreaking new ship from Royal Caribbean. It's promising some world firsts in both dining and entertainment that sound pretty wild. And finally, a decision from P&O Cruises to start welcoming families on its adults-only ships has, well, it's ignited a huge debate among their most loyal fans. Okay, let's get right into it. So our first story is all about what's happening below deck, out of sight. The entire cruise industry is pushing hard towards net zero emissions, and the key to all of that is figuring out what's going to power the next generation of ships. So what are the options on the table? Right now, it's pretty much a three-way race. First, you've got liquefied natural gas, or LNG. That's kind of the favorite right now for new ships as the infrastructure gets better. Then there's methanol, a challenger that's gaining ground. In fact, new ships like the Disney Adventure are being built ready for it. And finally, there's hydrogen, the ultimate clean fuel, right? But it's incredibly difficult to store and handle on a giant cruise ship. Now, to get around the problem of not having enough green fuel like bio-LNG, the industry is using this really clever strategy called the book and claim model. Think of it like this: a cruise line pays for green fuel to be pumped into the main supply grid somewhere, and in return they get a certificate to claim that they used green fuel. It's a way to support green energy production even if that exact fuel doesn't end up in their ship's tank. But the path to a green fleet is definitely not smooth sailing. The bottom line is that this is incredibly expensive and super risky. There's just not enough biofuel to go around, retrofitting an old ship costs a fortune, and, nobody wants to bet billions on a technology that might be obsolete in a few years. It's a massive puzzle for the cruise lines to solve, and honestly, it could end up impacting the price of your next cruise. All right, let's move from the engine room all the way up to the top deck. While the industry is busy figuring out future fuels, they are still building these absolutely incredible new ships, like Royal Caribbean's third Icon-class vessel, the Legend of the Seas. So what's the first thing you need to know about this new ship? It really all comes down to one number: 28. That is the staggering number of different places to eat and drink that will be on board. It's just pushing the boundaries of what you can expect at sea. And among those 28 options is something totally new: an immersive dining experience called Legend Station. And it's themed around a fictional train journey. So this isn't just a meal, it's a whole culinary story inspired by Marco Polo's travels on the Silk Route. The whole experience is designed as a 5-course journey. You'll feel like you're actually traveling from China through India to Italy and beyond, with every single dish representing a different stop along that historic Silk Route. This is taking themed dining to a whole other level. And the innovation doesn't stop with food, not at all. For the first time ever at sea, you'll be able to see the Broadway musical Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Add to that the amazing aqua theater shows, the biggest ice rink at sea, and a massive water park, and you've got a ship that is just absolutely packed with thrills. So where can you catch this new legend? It all kicks off in July 2026 in the Med, followed by a transatlantic voyage over to its new home in Fort Lauderdale for a whole season of Caribbean sailings. For our final story, we're shifting from new hardware to a major policy change that's sending some serious ripples through a very loyal fan base. It looks like a strategic move to bring in a new generation of family cruisers, even if it means risking some of their core audience. After almost 20 years, P&O Cruises is opening 2 of its beloved adults-only ships, Arcadia and Aurora, to families on certain sailings. And the reaction has been, well, it's been pretty divided. On one side, you have the longtime loyal cruisers who feel that the quiet, adults-only vibe they specifically chose and paid for is now being taken away. And then on the other side, you've got a whole new generation of cruisers who are just thrilled at the idea of sharing the ships they loved as kids with their own families. This quote from a passenger really just gets to the heart of the frustration, doesn't it? The appeal of these ships was never really anti-child, it was pro-tranquility. It was a specific kind of vacation, and the people who love it are really worried that it's gone for good. So what does family-friendly actually mean here? And this is the really crucial part for anyone thinking of booking. While kids are now welcome, the ships aren't being changed. There will be no kids clubs, no babysitting. P&O says they're adding some all-ages entertainment and menus, but the experience is going to be very different from their ships that are actually built for families. Now, for anyone who already booked their cruise expecting that quiet, adults-only getaway, P&O is offering a way out. You have until December 1st, 2025 to either switch to a different adults-only sailing or just get a full refund, which, is a fair move for anyone caught by surprise. So we've looked at a technical revolution in the engine room, a huge leap forward in onboard experiences, and a fundamental shift in who gets to be on board. They're three very different stories, but they all point in the same direction. So what does all this change really mean for the future of your vacation? Well, it shows an industry that's adapting faster than ever, and not just to new technologies, but to new entertainment demands and a whole new generation of travelers. The takeaway from this week is pretty unmistakable. Whether it's through cleaner fuels, bigger thrills, or more inclusive policies, the world of cruising is constantly evolving. What you expect from a cruise today might be totally different tomorrow. Honestly, keeping up with all this is a full-time job, which is pretty much why we do this. If you want to stay ahead of all these changes, the best way to do it is to sign up for our free 5-minute weekly email. Just head over to cruisenews.io. We'll see you next week.